Hey, how's it going? I am going to read you some cards and talk about some stuff. I'm going to ask you to direct your attention to my signs. They are my little disclaimer message, I guess you could say. Oh, and also so that you know that usually I'll add something in the, I guess it's the description box, or there's a box below the video where there will be further commentary related to whatever the heck I'm about to say. So, I have been thinking about, just kind of like, I don't know if everyone else has noticed that like in the United States, that life is getting more, I don't know, like mean. I mean, I'm talking about everything from like the Karen situation to the people in MAGA that have problems with stuff, and basically anyone that's out there sort of like angrily going through stuff. And I have been, like I've been saying for a while, that like on here, that I am like trying to get my anger under control. So it's been on my mind a lot, and I said something like the other day, and I thought, oh, maybe I have something there with the idea that we are reflecting each other off of each other. And I know that's actually something that you can hear on, you know, other videos like spiritual stuff, and they will say that. So I was like, okay, well, maybe that makes me feel a little bit better about like how upset I get about stuff. But it's like lately it's really inflamed, and that's when I thought, oh, you know, maybe there's something to what I was saying. And I had it's not like it has happened for the first time that I kind of like blew up while I was talking to somebody in like on a text situation. And so the evolution of, you know, the progression from just talking normally to like getting whipped up into every other word is an F word. and you know, that is hard for especially the person that I happen to be corresponding with. Like, they don't like that. The harsh, it's harsh. They don't like it. They back away, you know, or they like, I feel like they turn away. I don't like backing away. I don't want it to be turning away at all. Like, it doesn't matter. Don't want it. So, but you know, the thing about the cursing is that, it's like a release valve, you know, because like I get so mad so quick, but it's not just like 0 to angry. Like, there are actually steps, and thank goodness there's more of them. Not enough steps that it takes so long for me to get there that it's like, forget it, I'm not mad anymore. So I guess I'm working on adding steps, but I was getting kind of discouraged until I put it together that like the other people lashing out, like, you know, maybe I'm doing it too, and that's how it's manifesting. And I think there's something to that. You know, what I said about, well, us getting affected by each other. So I took some notes. So I'm gonna read some stuff. And that's the second page. But it made me think, especially when I was talking to the person that I don't want to like offend, basically, out of my life. I was able to go back over the conversation and really see like, oh, there's where I messed up, and I'm just sort of becoming aware that, And I feel like this is a new thing too, that even though I'm like trying to like de-escalate inside and it's not working, and I just blow up anyway, and that's what it's like. I blow up, and it's not even directed at other people. It's usually me that I'm mad at. The why I'm so angry about it. Like, I'm the one that really gets me, and it's always with this person, unfortunately, because that's the medium we normally communicate through. So if there's new changes, like I just got a new phone, and then they're also, I guess, getting new phones, and I may have screwed up some stuff, but maybe not. I don't know. But I like couldn't help because I don't know what the heck I'm doing on the new phone, and it just stresses me out. So I guess I have anxiety about that. And well, what's that about? What, like, I can't do tech, so I'm really mad at me. I feel like I need to go deeper because I'm just working that out. It doesn't even like make sense to me. So it got me thinking, like, you know, that's like really unpleasant to be around, and that's kind of how I feel when I actually have seen a couple of Karens in person, personally interacted with one. The woman got physical with me even. And it was the most bizarre thing because she offered help and I was like, no, thank you. I think the extent of what I said to the woman was no, thank you about 20 times. And then you asked me if I needed help and I said, no, thank you. And I think that's all I said to the woman. She went through all these changes because she was insistent that she was going to help me. And I know she overheard part of my conversation with my caregiver that I was with, who had just had surgery in her abdominal area. So I knew she couldn't be lifting stuff. So we were talking about a cat litter, not the item that I actually went to go pick up, which was, oh, I guess it was cat litter. I don't use it anymore, and it's been a while, but so yeah, and I was saying though that a particular brand was a whole lot heavier than the other, and it's Arm & Hammer with the baking soda, if you're curious. But for some reason, it's substantially heavier than the other ones. And I knew I'm in a wheelchair, right? And it's on the floor level at the Walmart we go to, so I knew all I had to do was like lean over and grab it, and I wasn't going to put it up in the cart, which I could have, but I didn't because I knew that, you know, like I didn't want to hand it off to her because I knew to lift this heavy freaking item with her sore incision area, I didn't want her to do it, you know. So I knew that I was going to turn around and grab the thing and then just turn a little more to the other side and stuff it under the basket area. And I could like load it into the car because it's at my level and take it out, and she would just never have to deal with it. So I didn't explain this to my caregiver. I just knew that I was going to go, why do I have to ask permission or something? So this woman, I saw her see us talking and look, right? And I knew that we were talking about like one of the litters being a lot heavier, and I wasn't going to get it because I don't want to deal with that. She goes home and she can't lift heavy stuff anyway, and I don't want to deal with heavy stuff. That's inconvenient. So I grabbed the one that I wanted, and like I said, she said, oh, can I help you with that? And I said no, and I was holding on to it, and she just proceeded to keep pulling on it and was going to put it up in the cart, and I was like, no thank you, no thank you, no thank you. She's like, I'm just going to help you, I'm just going to help you. I'm like, no thank you, no thank you. And finally, she's like, I'm just going to put it in the cart, and I was like, I said no thank you, and I just yanked it fully out of her hands, and then went down and put it under the cart like I was going to do, and she just went off on me. I don't remember. She told me to choke on a chicken bone, and I was a demon from hell. Like, she escalated like hardcore. This was like 2 years ago now. But that was like the first one I've seen, but I've seen tons, like in person, but I've seen tons like on YouTube and like late night talk shows. They'll get featured because they're so nuts, and it's like it must be happening to me too, because I just realized looking at that conversation in the text from earlier, I was like, oh my god, what a jerk. Oh my god, like they fully said a couple of times the thing to you that was like that you were not, it wasn't something like I thought that I had done something wrong and I just went off the deep end, and they were like, yeah, you didn't do anything wrong, it was on my end, like it's my thing that's messed up. And I don't know, I was just like not hearing them, or not, it was like right in front of my eyes, and I even remember seeing it. But once I calmed down and thought to go back and see, oh my god, what did I say? Oh my god, what I said. And I was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. Oh my, and at one point I was like, I'm such a jerk, because you can, go back to the conversation and then reply individually. So I have to go back and beat myself up about it. But it really made me think that it's like a symptom that we're all kind of going through. And I know that, like, while there's a lot of explosive, turbulent stuff going on in the world and socially, so that it doesn't necessarily have to be that like you're in a war-torn area or nearby. It's just like stuff is happening where you are, and I feel like it's a manifestation of all of us just kind of at the same time we're getting all these energies coming in, and it's helpful for us while we're doing this shift thing, but also because they're coming in, I think, and the people sending them, the extraterrestrials, with full knowledge of the fact that what we're going through is like bringing up all of this stuff. It's like, if you know of purging and you've done it and deliberately, then you recognize the symptoms. And I think that's what kind of started making stuff click. It's just like kind of a universal purging is going on, even though we're getting like all these love rays and stuff, and definitely like influence to be kinder to each other and like more loving to each other. So like it just has really got me thinking. So there's just some little notes I took. Some thoughts on joy in this sort of trepidatious time. A time when we are the unhappiest and most angry. No other way to call it. People's feelings are just right there. One wrong word or look from misunderstandings or assuming things to be the case when they possibly or are not. Possibly are not or are just not the case. That's no way to operate and be happy. Obviously, look at us. So many of us. It's not to say that your hair's on fire all the time. Like you have other parts of your life while you're not, whatever, in the nutso zone. So that's something to keep in mind too. I think just generally. Because we tend to think everything, like use like that whole broad swath thing and say things like everything is bad, but everything isn't, everyone isn't, but maybe everything and everyone sometimes is, just not continuously. It seems to be that we are very much being affected by each other. I don't only mean the getting triggered by some superficial small talk remark that can set us off because buildup of just unprocessed feelings and, whatever you got going on, we never, so buildup of stuff we never dealt with, whatever, and it's festered and blistered, and one little thing pops up and we either keep it together and move on, maybe stuffing it down or dealing with it, whatever, but we move on, or we go plum loco. It seems like the plum loco is always like, well, that's the easy option for some reason. I mean, it's easy to be nice and kind and all of that too, but maybe like right now it's not as easy as usual. Like maybe you're not inclined to just like give it up so easily. If people are gonna act like, you know, wieners. So we are all going through some level of change as we purge. Even involuntarily, we are bringing the unpleasant and unprocessed to the surface. We are bringing it out of each other, is my belief, for each other to move the F on. Like maybe all of the clashing and like aggression with each other, like it just finally needs to get done, because it seems like a lot of stuff is stuff that like between the sexes has just been abrading each other for like centuries, and a whole lot of other stuff like that, just like interpersonal weirdness that's not flowing well or positively, you know. And you know, if everybody's doing it at the same time, it's kind of like that's where we are, I think. And so, where does the joy come in? We find it. We laugh at the problems and the lashing out. The joy is always right there. Times are crazy, and yes, a little scary, that's true. But wow, I mean, it's like living in a movie, you know? Excitement. Or like a video game. Like if you die, it's a whole thing for the dead guy and their friends and family or whatever. Whoever else, not whatever, and whomever else gets to be a part of it, and something about it will stay with them forever. Like everyone that was nearby enough to witness it in some way, or even, maybe not even witness it, but just the effect, capillary action goes from one person and to the next person and the next person. I definitely think that's the case. Like if you look at like fads of things that we say, you know, like everybody picks it up for a while, seems like, or mostly everybody, and everybody's saying it for a while and then it fizzles out and goes away, and like that happens all the time. Or clothes, foods, weird, we like that, we human peoples. Excuse me. So, but if we come to the end, we can reincarnate. It's a grand game and we have eternal lives. Like the actual one we're living, if we're gonna liken it to a game. And when I was writing that, I thought, you know, who even had the idea in games to have another life after you like lose the first one or the first four? Was that like some kind of way for reincarnation to just be slipped into everyone's consciousness regardless of beliefs or nation of origin that would affect your beliefs, or just like anything like that? Like a video game is going to be accessible to like everybody across the board. I think we can agree, right? So what better place to slip in a little piece of information for you to just, I don't know, like not really think about maybe, but definitely register, because you know you can take certain risks and do certain things because you got extra lives. Like it's okay if I like die this time. And so, you know, I wonder if that idea was not taken from real life. Because, you know, we have the eternal lives, which, what do you think that means? It means you just have, every time you come to an end, you can just start again, pick up where you left off, or start over. It's a game. It's another life. You got 1,000,000 of them. It's eternity. That's actually kind of awesome. sound to dogma? Well, it's not church property. Things that have lived have been returning all of time from, you can get that very same information from like any source you want, but it ain't news. Okay, so I'm going to start with one of my new angel cards, my angel number card. And I had I actually pulled it before I had the conversation where I like lost my mind over stupid technology. And it was the 1212 card. And the subtitle is Persistence, which I took to mean keep at it, you're gonna get it, you know, like what you want to achieve, and eventually if you're just persistent and you don't give up, you're gonna get that anger issue handled, or that patience issue, or whatever fear, like whatever it is, like the don't give up is key I think to the message. Okay, so it says shift, enthusiasm, enthusiasm, gratitude, contentment, new experiences. So shift, you know, a lot of times I'm actually successful when I feel my mood doing something weird. I'm more successful at like shifting from something that I'm seeing, so something that's coming in that's not like my stuff. When I feel something like that upsetting me, like I know to just switch it off if I'm watching something, or go do something else, like just whatever I have to do to course correct, like just to get off that, you know, hopefully before it becomes totally unpleasant. Like you get the warning first, like you get the clue, like, ooh, that's about to happen, don't go down there. don't go down that road. And then enthusiasm, well, what can I say, like, you know, try and make it, what's happening, you know, you're not necessarily going to know that this was a pre-agreed arrangement, your life, with all these other people and incidents that are going to happen, like, even before you're even born. Like, a lot of us don't, like, cotton to that right away, or at all sometimes. So, it, and the lives, right, the reincarnation, like, if you think of it as like a game, it makes it kind of easier to have the attitude where, like, well, this is a really exciting movie and I'm like really in it. I'm living the movie dream. And then, like, if something happens or something's bad or makes you feel bad, well, don't feel too bad, because that's supposed to happen. Like, whatever is happening in your life, like, I know I still couldn't tell you what's ahead in my life. I just know that there's a plan, and my best course of action is to, like, don't be a dick. Basically, if I can make that my life motto, kind of covers all your bases. And that's why it matters not to get, like, all mad all the time and be impatient. But, like, I could shift my focal point or focus on how, you know, things that are happening are gonna affect me. And, you know, if it's scary and weird and awful, like, okay, I'm in a horror movie right now, but it's gonna end eventually, because those movies end, horrors end. Don't worry about time. Don't make that an issue. Don't make more problems for yourself. Gratitude. Be happy you are here to experience it, because as you begin to know more of these things, which is part of, you know, knowing yourself better and remembering things that are sort of spiritually based concepts and ideas and things and awakenings, apparently there's a line to get here and come and be in a human suit and live through the kind of stuff that we're living through right now. And that's been happening for centuries. Think of people that came to be here for the 100-Year War. And everything that would have happened and go look it up. Like, it wasn't mod cons. It was, I don't even think they had electric. I don't even know if they had, I think they probably had plumbing. But, you know, I mean, this is good. This is for bad stuff to be happening, this is like kind of a good time. Modern medicine, vehicles, planes, maybe soon spaceships that, are public transportation. Who knows? But, gratitude. I can be grateful for that. I can be grateful that I get to be here and experience it. I don't think I understand the magnitude of there being a line of beings that would really like to come here and experience what we experience, and wow. Contentment. Okay, I can accept all that. That makes me happy. That makes a lot make sense. And new experiences, sure, I'll take them all the time. Just want to take out that gratitude and be happy for them, because they're not always going to be whoop-de-doo happy fun. I guess I just got to give you both sides of the coin. So there's some text here, and it says, "Oh, happy day. An ample opportunity related to your life's purpose is just around the corner. Take immediate action once it pops up. Of course, a lovely partnership or an epic romance is also in the cards." Wink. Cool. So, I pulled 2 other cards, and the next one is from the Shaman's Dream Oracle deck. And it's the number 23 card, which... Oh, that's... I don't know why I'm fuzzing out on the specificity on this, but the number 23 is something about angels. I don't remember exactly. So let me see. There's a lot of interpretations or meanings for the numbers, so I'm just gonna make sure that I link that. Angel RE 23, so I can find out specifically what angels of the number 23 have to do with each other, and that will be something that I would put in the information box as like a link, and then more commentary, because of course after I'm done I'm like, oh, I want to say this too. So anyway, the number 23 card, it's Fortune's Wheel, and the subtitle is Luck and Right Timing. So this is kind of an interesting one for me, or to me rather. Is that in focus? Oh, I guess it is when I look through my bifocal. You could probably actually see. It's like, well, it's a wheel. They say it's a wheel, but I'm not sure how it relates to fortune exactly. I mean, just like blunt object, just looking at it straight on and thinking about it, but it has a lot going on, this object. In the center of it, it's kind of hard to see because of the color scheme. Where's my indicator? Where is it? Oh, there it is. I'm looking at it and I'm seeing like a number of different things. There's all of these little... Oh, I started to talk about the center of it. Okay, I'll start with that. So the center of it there, I guess it has an axis hole, like a hub, where you'd have an axle for it to actually spin on, like a bicycle wheel or something, or a car. The wheel's got to hang on something to spin. Although, I was going to say, they can't just float in space and spin. Although, this might be that kind of wheel. Like, maybe it could do that. It's really kind of hard to see what's going on behind it, because there's I guess as it turns, it's like generating all of this yellow business, this light sparks. I'm not really sure. It almost looks like ignition, which is alarming because it also looks like a whole bunch of wicker in a lot of places. So like, maybe keep it away from the flame. But sometimes in Vegas, the wheel is hot. Thank you for that. But it may literally be sparking that out. So I was gonna say speaking that out, but keeping with the fire analogies. But yes, also in the center, which is kind of hard to see, is a pair of wings. Where am I? Right there, and right there you can see. I'm not really sure what that is supposed to indicate, though, as far as like luck or fortune. Except that you got no place else to go but up if you are successful and your fortune is good. And I just saw something I had never noticed on this puppy before. Well, two things. One of the wings of this bird, was it on both sides? Oh, that's not even what it was. Oh my goodness. I thought I saw a Star of David in there. It's just like it's not that, but the colors are just sitting that way. Oh, great. That was not the thing that I saw. And it is actually, it's not changing it to anything else. There's an eye on this thing. See, right there. Can you make that out? It's kind of hard to see. You know, maybe that's deliberate, you know? It's like heavily lidded. And it looks like the cornea, is that the color part? The iris? I'm bad on my parts. It's been a long time, but the part where your color shows seems to be like a light blue. What's weird? Why did I just see that today? I don't know. It must be part of the message. The other things I was noticing on here, like in one part, it just looks woven, like literally like wicker down here. Right. But then up here, if you look at this little, I don't know, I want to say straw, they look kind of like individual little, the slats. They look like, I'm trying to get it to, oh, there we go. They look like olive forks. You know what that is? Like a cocktail, like hors d'oeuvre thing, and it's like a sort of a decorative fork, but it's just got two prongs because you're spearing olives with it. I don't know, man. Silverware designer. What do I know? I don't even know what that's called. But it is making me think of like the various kind of items you could accumulate, you know, like olive fork is kind of fancy, you know, and at one time wicker was pretty bitchin'. Like in the 70s, there was the whole wicker chair motif on just countless record albums, music, record albums. Where did I dig that up from the past? Albums anyway, but on the covers, like the stylists were just wild for the wicker chair. Like somebody would be sitting in it, it would just be by itself. It was like this total meme. It was like, it was iconic. And I just feel like the spinning the wheel, it also is reminding me of like, not Wheel of Fortune. What is the one with Drew Carey? Price is Right. And you're like spinning and you could win like your fortunes, your dream, you know, your luck and right timing could be right on. And that has a lot of meaning to me, particularly today, because, you know, when you are patient, and when I say you, I mean me, if I can be patient and like hold it together and not flip out. I was on the outs with someone that I really love, a good friend of mine, and I know it happens, and I don't always like make up all pretty with people, and so this was different though. Like when it happened, I saw it coming like way in advance, and I understood some things differently today that I wasn't quite getting before, and it's like I didn't really take it into consideration, but now that I am, it makes a lot of things make more sense. And especially like now that I know the situation, and now that it's better, I can understand it more fully. Like I can be informed of what I wasn't, like I couldn't be told before, or whatever it was, for whatever the reason was. But things are more clearer now, and I definitely considered reaching out first, but I didn't, just because I kind of knew that whatever was going on had to happen for them, and I wasn't sure that I should, like, I just wanted to let them finish before trying to talk to them, like I don't want to interfere with their process, I guess is what I'm saying. So that makes me think, for all of like what we fear about society and the world and all of that, like if we just kind of like don't freak out and do things to make our lot worse, then the wait will be worthwhile, and like things that are horrible and sad will come to an end. Things that are like injustices will be resolved, and more rightness is due to happen, because that is the way the wheel turns. Like you start out in one spot and it's a wheel, and you go through some stuff and you end up right back around at top, and that's kind of how life is. So sure, of course luck is going to be that way too. Why not? There's a lot of repeating patterns in life, and sometimes you just gotta let stuff happen and wait around for the right time, and then your ship comes in, as they say. So I think generally people in the world can look forward to that. There's going to be losses, there's going to be pain, there's going to be sadness, but also parts of life. Am I doing on time? Pretty good. I'm last card. So can you get in? Hold on. Begin? No? Hold on. Sorry, I had to wander off. Oh, okay, he's in. I know there's a pause on this thing, but I don't want to guess and accidentally shut it off. Sorry for that intermission. So finally, from the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck, I pulled the moth card, and the little icon at the top indicates the air element, and I mean, I would think that that's like a wands situation if we were reading regular tarot cards. This is an oracle card. So when I looked at it, I saw a couple of things immediately, and then I noticed that the moth is like arising out of the light, out of the dark, and into the light, but it's not completely out. It's in kind of a mid to end phase, and I feel like that's kind of where we're at in society and the world, with a lot of the sort of the tussle that we're having right now, the ideological tussle of do we want to have democracies or authoritarian states and autocracies where there's a few people at the top that hold most of the resources, and then a whole bunch more people, like way more outnumbering numbers of people, that are somehow held down and bossed around and coerced and forced into doing things that maybe they don't want to do, and they have to stop doing things that they want to do and believe in, because all of a sudden these people that have more I don't even want to call it power really, but leverage over everyone else because of maybe possessions that they have, or whatever, bargains, deals with other people that they collude together and work to further lock out people that are not part of their insular tiny community of people with a bunch of possessions and currency, when that's not like, when the factories are dead and the people are not going to work in them, and the ingredients are gone to make the whatever easily dealt with and eaten processed food, whatever it is, when that doesn't happen, you gotta eat that money. You think that everybody's just gonna hang around and like protect you, and they're like, well, I'm hungry and I got to eat, and maybe I got a family to feed too, and you have a perfectly functional body, arms and legs. You can get out there and get your hands dirty. I just kind of feel like it's been that way again with the centuries and the stuff happening. Like, we just can't get a new idea. We just gotta keep rebooting the same crap forever. Are you also tired of it? So here we are, this actually really kind of fragile being that definitely seeks the light. I feel like it's kind of like the spirit inside of us that is maybe hiding and cowering, afraid to get the purging and the aggression and the anger on it. It's just like the inner you, that the child even, but the little fragile being that wants to float in the air and seek the light. And I mean, that's just happiness right there, And so I feel like the inside of us, this person, this being, is what is actually making it possible for the angry, aggressive person and the lashing out that we do to still be heading upward toward the light. That's just like what's our essential deep down spirit. Like before we come to earth, is just love, like unconditional love. And it's like, there's not even talk of conditions. It's just love. And it's very, it's very conceptual to me, but I think I understand the concept. Like I see the point in it. I see the good of it. And isn't it funny, if that's like our original natural state of being, boy, we have really built up this like false armor, this shell, this persona of like, we're just not really like that, and we're becoming we're meaner to each other, like more and more. And I know this is part of the arc that we're in, that will eventually end. But I guess we gotta go through it. And I have said before that I think we're all like I was on Twitter the first time I said it and kind of realized it, but everybody's stuff is going on all around us, and it's affecting us and getting on us and making us feel stuff. But it's like we're kind of there to support each other in the way that, even though we don't know that it's like a predestined series of events, we are there to support each other in the effort of, like, maybe the bad thing, like the war, like The support being like you are a witness to it, you have feelings about it, even if you're not there on the ground in the fear of war. Like, you're affected by it because you know about it and you feel it. You want there to be justice, as in stop making people dead. Like, don't do that. It's not good for anybody, really. Pardon me. And I think in that way, that's how we support each other. Like, we are literally going through this together, and that's why part of the lashing out and the freaking out and the purging, it's all to help us get through, this everything we're going through is everyone's karma, and it's not like a revenge on something we did in a prior life. It is the actual filling out of the fulfilling the destiny that we created, basically. Living out that life plan that we developed, because it's not just us, it's other people. We all are a part of each other's individual life plans, like even people we don't know or may never know personally can totally have some effect that we are not immediately aware of, is because of this other person that we don't really know about. And that makes things kind of miraculous and fun and interesting, I think. And I'm just saying, like, you can be in the dumps and sad about things that are happening, but it makes it a lot easier for me if I realize that, like, they gotta happen, because everybody's got their part to play, and one thing depends on the other thing, so feel what you gotta feel. That's what you're here for, Just speaking for myself, I want to, do my best. I don't want to go nuts and let the feelings go too mad, but I feel like a little better and a little worse, because I kind of worked all this stuff out. Some of it before I started doing this, and then some of it as I've been talking, but particularly about the conversation that I regret that I just, I lost it. But it's the first time today, because I have gone back, and it's not the first time that I've blown up over pretty much the same kind of thing. But, and I have gone back and reviewed what I said, but it's just been today, and sort of talking through it right now, that I have a better grasp on, what I was missing while it was happening, and the fact that I was kind of fuging out, in the middle of, I was able to respond like a jerk, like an idiot to the person I was talking to. It wasn't their fault. It wasn't even a fault. It wasn't my fault. I don't know what the heck. I don't know why I do that. And it's more distressing right now, because it hasn't really quite sunken in that, oh my God, you really are, kind of out of it, there but not there. It's, blowing my mind right now. So I gotta go process that. Thank you and good night.